Hey everyone, welcome to Rethink Reviews on the TYT Network. I am your host, Jonathan Kim. We're going way back today. We're going to the 1936 original anti-pot propaganda film, Reefer Madness, which I'm sure you've heard about over the years, but now you can go to the direct source and see what all the fuss is about. The movie, of course, as usual, is available on Netflix Instant, annotation there. But because it came out in 1936, Reefer Madness has gone public domain, which means it's now out there for free. So you can also watch it on YouTube, or on Hulu. It really makes you think about how it is that such a movie could be made, knowing what we know about pot, knowing what they knew then about pot. How is it possible that they could tell such enormous lies, which is probably what's made Reefer Madness such a cult hit over the years, and also spawned a musical of the same name, just to make fun of it. We're gonna watch my review of Reefer Madness right now, but be sure to stick around after the review where I will be revealing the movie for the next episode of Rethink Reviews. But until then, let's watch the review of Reefer Madness. Reefer Madness, also known as Tell Your Children, is an anti-pot propaganda film made in 1936 that tells the story of a group of young people whose lives are destroyed by the dangerous narcotic known as marijuana. Reefer Madness was supposed to be a warning to parents, but with its hyperbolic depiction of pot smokers as lunatics and rapists, Reefer Madness eventually became a cult classic for stoners on college campuses across the country. With medical marijuana inching towards legalization and pot as culturally accepted as it's ever been, I thought I'd check out the original Reefer Madness to see what it says about this dangerous scourge and the failed war on drugs. After starting with some scary facts about the effects of marijuana and how it's more dangerous than cocaine and heroin, Reefer Madness tells the cautionary tale of two drug pushers named Jack and May, played by Carlton Young and Thelma White, their reefer addict accomplices Ralph and Blanche, played by Dave O'Brien and Lillian Miles, and the high school kids who get caught in their web. Bill, played by Kenneth Craig, is a good boy and student who's recently started a relationship with good girl Mary, played by Dorothy Short. However, Mary's brother Jimmy, played by Warren McCollum, is already a weed smoker whose reckless driving eventually leads to vehicular manslaughter. Bill starts toking, eventually leading to plummeting grades and infidelity as pot makes Bill unable to resist his sinful urges. Things get even darker when Mary unwittingly smokes pot, since apparently pot smells and tastes the same as cigarettes. A high and increasingly crazy Ralph attempts to rape her, and when a hallucinating Bill sees what's happening, a fight ensues that leaves Mary dead. That's when Reefer Madness takes an unexpected turn, becoming a crime gone wrong and courtroom thriller, as Bill is charged with Mary's murder, which he's told he committed in a jealous, pot-fueled rage. Ralph's pot-induced insanity is turning him into a liability for Jack and May, and Blanche is racked with guilt over letting Bill take the fall. It's here where the anti-pot propaganda drops away and the film's B and C-list actors are asked to really act, which they do with all the gusto their limited talents and the material will allow. Naturally, the film's depiction of the effects of pot are what makes Reefer Madness so funny to stoners. You probably know that pot doesn't make people go crazy or become rapists and piano prodigies. In fact, the upsides of pot shown in Reefer Madness, like lots of laughing, dancing, and sex, are so appealing and the tragedies in the film so specific to the characters that any young person watching Reefer Madness would be more encouraged to try pot than avoid it. And therein lies the root of why the war on drugs has been such a cruel, costly, largely pointless failure. It's because people, now and throughout history, want to get high, and warnings or fear of punishment haven't changed that. We just want to know the risks involved so we can get high responsibly, and if the risks sound unrealistic, we ignore them, especially when faced with the hypocrisy of potentially addictive, deadly substances like alcohol, tobacco, and prescription drugs being legal. Reefer Madness shows how much our views on marijuana have changed, but it didn't stop slogans like "just say no" and "this is your brain on drugs," which have also become punchlines. Until we can end the propaganda and start being honest, this failed war on drugs will continue indefinitely, and that would be the true madness. I'm Jonathan Kim for Rethink Reviews. So with kids heading back to school, I figured we'd watch an education-related movie for the next episode. That movie is The Lottery. It's a documentary about charter schools. Now, of course, we heard a lot about charter schools in the previous year because of the movie Waiting for Superman, which I was convinced was going to win the Oscar for Best Documentary, but didn't even get nominated, which was a great shock to me and apparently had something to do with the fact that the movie takes such an anti-teachers union stance. And if you're thinking about the Academy, and thinking about Los Angeles is a union town. I mean, actors teachers guilds, the tech guilds, like the editors, cameramen, like we have unions all over the place. So they, I think, did not take kindly to the anti-union stance of the film. But also, Waiting for Superman got hit for sort of fudging some of the footage to make it seem like something was happening that wasn't. Obviously, documentarians are not going to take kindly to that. Personally, I don't think that's such a big deal. But I've been told that The Lottery is actually a superior movie to Waiting for Superman in terms of how it deals with the crisis in our education system, as well as charter schools and if they are or are not a solution to the problems in our education system. So here is a clip for The Lottery. Please check it out. It's on Netflix Instant, and send us your questions about it. We're going to have some great experts in to talk about charter schools and the state of education in the United States. So here's a clip from The Lottery.
The problem is not the parents, the problem is not the children, the problem is a system that protects academic failure.
Parents are literally fleeing their zone schools as they vie for seats in charter schools.
A child's destiny should not be determined on the pull of a draw.
Every year we wait to offer parents the choices they deserve is a year in which children's futures are destroyed.